What's Gucci with a Veterans Military, back again with another banger. Today we're going to be talking about why most veterans will never see 100% permanent total in this lifetime. You like this type of content? As always, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below your personal experience with the VA disability claims process. Let's jump into it. So the first thing that I see that hurts a lot of veterans is going to be procrastination. And Charles Dickens once said that procrastination is the thief of time. What does that mean? That means veterans, whether you served 4 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 40 years, chesty puller status level, I'm talking about General Amos, famous Amos Cookie. They go these many years without going into medical. You procrastinate. It's especially in the Marine Corps. Or if you're like in one of those high-speed, low-drag type of commands, units, services, you're gonna keep prolonging going into medical, getting something checked out. And then once it comes to a point to where you're 50, 35, 45, whatever the case may be, years post-military, you're gonna be wondering how to get into the VA claims process. And you're not gonna have any medical records because what? Most veterans, when they get out, if they know about VA disability, they'll file immediately. If not, it may take a couple of years. And in those years of waiting, the longer you wait past the time you separate from the military, ES, ETS, the harder you make it for yourself to get service connected for any disability. Because if you weren't going into medical while you were serving in the military, more than likely, post-veteran activities, post-night ops, you're not going into medical as we speak. As you're watching this video, when was the last time ask yourself, when was the last time you've gone into medical, done a full physical, or just went in and complained about something that's hurting you? If you're having migraines, who do you go see? Yeah, you can go see the family doctor, but what's more sufficient? Going to see that neurologist to get treated, evaluated, and any medication given to you for migraines and or headaches. When it comes to sleep apnea, who do you go see? Go see a pulmonologist. What? Someone who studies and certified in sleep study, lungs, respiratory conditions, that can evaluate you, diagnose you with sleep apnea with what? A sleep study test. You gain all that medical evidence. And if it was caused by your military service, a direct service. If it's being caused by PTSD, allergic rhinitis, chronic sinusitis, you're already building. Those are stepping stones. Those are blocks in the way that you need in order to submit that VA disability claim. So what can a veteran do right now to prevent that procrastination? Well, first thing I would say, go on to eBenefits, va.gov, and start your intent to file. You're going to start your intent to file. That's going to maintain and lock in that effective date. So if you have 0% or 50% VA disability rating right now, if you can build that medical evidence prior to that claim lapsing, so from the time you submit, you put in your intent to file, you have a whole year to submit. It's not immediate. You can wait till the very last day, very last month. Well, not day, I would say very last month. I got a buddy I'm helping with right now. It's coming. But we're gonna have his submitted by the end of this month, so it's well before that end date. But you got a whole year to build medical evidence if you haven't already been doing it. Once you submit your intent to file, look at your service treatment record. If it's your first time claiming, if you already have a VA disability rating, maybe you're at 30% or maybe you're at 90%. You may think you need 10 more percent, but if you're at 85% rounded up, you're going to need another 50 to 70% depending on where you fall. So, that being said, if you already have a rating, look at your current treatment record, look at your current VA disabilities, each individually, and see if you can warrant an increase. If you've been going into medical, if you've been seeing your doctor on a routine basis, that's going to warrant if your symptoms meet the criteria of the next highest tier. Don't be at 50% for migraines, thinking you could get 70% for migraines, and you haven't gone in to see a neurologist in the last 2 to 3 years. You submit that claim thinking you can get an increase, but then you get a decrease because you haven't been seeking care for the last 2 to 3 years. 50% for migraines is the highest you can get. At the same time, you just fucked yourself. You just fucked yourself. So get educated. Make sure you You evaluate each disability that you're going in for. Make sure that you've been seeking medical treatment. And this is for all veterans. Whenever you decide to get back into the VA claims process, make sure your medical evidence is up to date and is current for any disability that you are currently service connected for. Because if not, you're going to risk a decrease in overall compensation that you're receiving if you went in for migraines. You know, you're at 90%, you went in for migraines. That's the only claim that you're worried about. But then they look at your mental health. They've noticed that you haven't been going to your psychiatrist, your therapist, for the last 8 months. Oh, you must have gotten better. Or they're going to look at your medical evidence and say, oh, you know, you've gone into dental 3 months ago and you said you was feeling peachy. So we feel that as, hey, you don't need that 70% for mental health. So we're going to knock you down. We're going to propose a decrease to benefits. And if you haven't been seeking treatment, you just can't go out and pay for a Nexus letter, pay for a DBQ from one of these pay-to-play doctors, because it's not going to get you far. Yeah, it's going to say, okay, yeah, you went in to get something to maintain you at 70%, but that's still, just like a CMP exam, that's just a doctor that's only going to see you one time. One time. Versus if, hey, sky's the limit. If you're already seeking treatment, you don't have to go in every day, every week to a therapist or or your doctor. You don't have to go in monthly. You know, pick a routine that works best for you, depending on your environment, on your circumstances. So if you got a doctor that has a well-established office that you can submit complaints online and it's recorded accurately in your medical record with them, cool. You don't have to go in monthly or quarterly at that. Maybe you can stick it to semi-annual checkups to make sure all your stuff is good. Renew any medication list, any medication that you're taking, as well as if there's anything new that's being caused by your already service-connected disabilities, either through the symptoms or through side effects of the medication or the treatment that you're taking. That will be a time to physically see that doctor in person, have them evaluate you, and then have them acknowledge it. And then if there's any follow-on treatment that they will be recommending, hey, I'm going to send you into a sleep study since you've been having issues sleeping. You know, you've been choking on your tongue. You know, hey, I know I've been treating you for PTSD for the last 5 years, but hey, I think you got sleep apnea. I think you got it. Let's check you out, bucko. Let's check you out. Let's get you treated, and then let's get you paid. You know what I'm talking about? But veterans can avoid procrastination by getting off your ass, taking care of business, going to medical, especially if your goal is to get 100% permanent total. You know, if your goal is to get 100% permanent total, let that be the goal. Push towards it. But just know you need to be educated on the VA disability claims process, the CFR 38, that's the Code of Federation, the regulation, Code of Federal Regulation. And I would say, hey, look at the M21-1, the Adjudications Procedures Manual. That's going to show you specifically examiners are supposed to evaluate your disabilities, your symptoms, as well as that VA rater, how they need to evaluate and render a VA disability rating, as well as the medical evidence in which they're looking for. Check. Does he have a neurologist? Okay, cool. Are you on medication? Okay, cool. Do you have a stressor identified for PTSD? Do you have a diagnosis for PTSD? Okay, cool. Check. Service connected, 0%. Now, depending on your symptomology, severity, impacts to your personal and your work life, depending on the disability, that's going to determine if you get 10, 40, 70, 100%. 2024, year of the dragon, year of the vet. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Hey, as always, y'all know what I'm talking. Y'all know what time it is. You got any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, gripes? Let your boy know. It's fucking Debo out. Y'all stay Gucci with it.